Welcome to Yawdvybz TV. Before we start, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share with a friend. Now on to the news. Kevin Smith caused fatal crash to commit suicide. Coroner's inquest rules. A coroner's inquest has cleared the cops who were transporting controversial pastor Kevin Smith, with the judge ruling that the clergyman caused the accident in a bid to commit suicide. Judge Carol Hughes handed down her decision today in the coroner's court in St. Catherine. Smith, 39, died from crash-related injuries in 2021 while being transported by the police from Montego Bay, St. James to Kingston. 26-year-old Constable Orlando Irons of the Fugitive Apprehension Team also died in the crash. The crash occurred on the Linstead Bypass in St. Catherine. Smith was being escorted from St. James to Kingston to be charged with murder and other offenses. Days prior, the authorities had stormed the Pathways International Kingdom Restoration Ministries compound in St. James, where Smith was presiding over a bloody and fatal ritual. The coroner's inquest was held to probe the circumstances which led to the death of Smith and Irons in the crash. Hughes ruled that the collision did not occur because of excess speed, and she found that the cops placed before the inquest were credible witnesses. It was held that they were not negligent in carrying out their duties, according to attorney-at-law John Jacobs, who represented the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the two officers. According to Jacobs, the judge found that, based on the evidence, Smith assaulted the cops who were transporting him, stating that his actions were unlawful and dangerous and caused the death of Irons. On the balance of probabilities, this was not death by motor vehicle accident. Kevin Smith died by suicide. The judge found that Smith's unlawful acts were responsible for the death of Irons. Woman shot and killed in Commodore, St. Catherine. Tragedy struck the Commodore district of Linstead in St. Catherine late Monday night as 50-year-old George Dworka was fatally shot by unknown assailants, marking the third gun-related death in the area in 3 weeks. According to police reports, neighbors heard explosions around 11:30 p.m. Upon investigation, Dworka was found lying in a pool of blood on the floor of her home. She was pronounced dead at the Linstead Hospital shortly after. No motive has been established for the murder. Dworka was seen in her community on Friday, engaging with police officers, including Superintendent Hopton Nicholson, during a walkthrough of the area. She had expressed her approval of the increased police presence and interaction. It is a good look for the community because the community needs more of this in terms of community policing so that the police can rap with the community to get rid of negativity, Dworka said in an interview. Whenever one is seen talking to police, they are called informer. People need to familiarize and get over it. The community remains on edge as the police continue their investigation into Dworka's death and the broader surge in violence. On Friday, Superintendent Nicholson named Glendon Amos, also known as Bull, as wanted for several crimes, including shootings in the Linstead area. Nicholson urged Amos to surrender immediately and warned that anyone found harboring him would be committing a serious offense. Studio engineer charged for fatal stabbing of man during dispute. 33-year-old Tashwayne Todd, otherwise called Twain, a studio engineer of Parry Town and Priory in St. Ann, has been charged with murder. Todd was charged following the stabbing death of 29-year-old porter Ricardo McGee on Seaboard Street in Falmouth, Trelawney, on May 18th. The Falmouth police say about 12:45 a.m., McGee got into a dispute with another man when Todd intervened. A knife was brought into play and McGee was stabbed in the upper body. Todd turned himself in and was charged on Monday. St. Andrew Higgler charged with murder, several other offenses. A St. Andrew higgler has been charged with murder and several other offenses arising from an incident along Lamont Lane, Kingston 12, last Friday. Andrew Williams, otherwise called Danny, of Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13, is charged with the murder of 37-year-old Marlon Johnson, otherwise called Mega, also of Maxfield Avenue. The 37-year-old has also been charged with possession of prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and making use of firearm to commit felony. Reports are that about 8:40 p.m. Johnson was on his way home when he was attacked by Williams and 3 other men who were armed with guns. The men opened gunfire at Johnson. The police were summoned and Johnson was assisted to hospital where he was pronounced dead. On Sunday, Williams was taken into custody where he was questioned in the presence of his attorney and was subsequently charged. Man accused of shooting at police in St. Catherine denied bail. Bail was today denied in the St. Catherine Parish Court for a man accused of shooting at cops who responded to a break-in at a bar. The case against Javon Benjamin of Homestead in Spanish Town, who is charged with attempted shop breaking with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and using a prohibited weapon to commit a felony, was then transferred to the gun court for a hearing on June 21st. The order was made by Senior Parish Court Judge Yvette Wentworth Miller, who told the defense that she was not minded to granted bail. Allegations are that on March 3rd, a police team responded to a call that a bar was being broken into. Upon reaching the location, the team was reportedly fired upon by gunmen. The police took evasive action and returned the fire. The hoodlums fled. The police subsequently checked the area, and Benjamin was reportedly found suffering from gunshot wounds. An illegal 9mm pistol was allegedly found in his possession. He was subsequently taken to hospital, where he has been admitted since. An investigation was conducted, and Benjamin was charged. Indicom using CCTV footage to help probe quadruple killing by police. Independent Commission of Investigations, Indicom, is banking on closed-circuit television CCTV footage to help it better understand how events unfolded on May 8th when 4 males were fatally shot during a reported firefight with police in downtown Kingston. It is reported that the gunfight occurred around 1:30 a.m. and continued until just after 4 a.m. One member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, was shot and injured in the incident. On Friday, Assistant Commissioner of Indicom, Hamish Campbell, told the news team that despite numerous visits by his investigators to the scene where the shootings occurred, no eyewitnesses have come forward. The media reports are well known that the police did confront armed gunmen. Those armed gunmen were engaged in a gunfight with other men that was initially witnessed by the police. Those gunmen were seen escaping, and some of that aspect is documented on CCTV. A chase ensued, and the vehicle the criminals were driving crashed and suffered severe frontal collision damage. Those men escaped from the car, armed with guns, and there was a further confrontation with the police, and 4 men were shot and killed. That is the account we have of the events, and we are trying to correlate that account with CCTV evidence and forensics, Campbell said. He told the news team that Indicom continues to investigate the matter, and most of the investigative groundwork has been laid. Much work was done the day of the shooting, and considerable amount of time was spent at the 4 different scenes where the shooting occurred and resulted in damage to the car, and eventually the fatal shootings. The matter has gone to the laboratory, the weapons, and the over 100 casings found at the scene. Over 100 shots were fired by the security forces, and there were shots fired by the gunmen. That matter is continuing, said Campbell. CCTV evidence is being recovered from 1 premises, and further inquiries are being made in relation to other CCTV in the area which captures sets of the events. That is under investigation still. We are not in a position to further provide commentary in relation to those aspects of the CCTV evidence. The officers have all made statements and given them to Indicom, and they have also come in to be interviewed as witnesses, and the inquiry will continue, with the post-mortem still to be held, added Campbell. As it relates to eyewitnesses, Campbell said there were people who clearly did see something. We don't have, at this stage, any testimony from any civilian saying they saw any aspect of the shooting, he said. When questioned if the police personnel involved have been removed from frontline duty, Campbell said it is JCF policy to send any member involved in fatal shootings on administrative leave for 14 days. He pointed out, however, that he could not say for sure if the JCF members involved in this incident were sent on administrative leave. The officer would be sent on administrative leave for 14 days, but not as punishment. When the police conduct their administrative inquiry, then the officers would normally be returned to duty. In this instance, one officer was shot and injured, so he would not be returning to duty. They are not on suspension or interdiction, but it is normal for administrative leave of 14 days. That is a standard policy for them, so they wouldn't be telling us if that is the situation. That is how we understand it to be, Campbell explained. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share with a friend.